So before we get stuck in today's power session, I want to cover a really important topic, and that's the topic of weight loss versus fat loss. And so many people don't understand the difference. They overly focus on that goal weight, they rush the process, they do the wrong type of training, and then when they jump on the scale, they get to that goal weight and then they're confused because they don't look lean, toned, athletic, and in fact, they've just got this soft, untoned look and this stubborn belly fat that won't go away. And in today's video, I'm going to explain why that's happening, and I'm going to show you a better way of doing things. So in both these photos, I actually weigh the same. I'm 75 kilos, but my body composition is completely different, and that is the ratio of muscle to fat. Here, my fat is a lot higher than my muscle, and here my muscle is a lot higher than my fat. 99% of people I speak to think they want to lose weight, but they don't. They want to burn fat and they want to build muscle. That's how you build that lean athletic physique, guys. It's so important to understand that. The ratio of muscle to fat is what builds that lean athletic physique. And when people don't realize this, they rush the process, they overly focus on that goal weight, they undereat, they overtrain, and then they get to their goal weight and they're like, oh God, I still have this soft, untoned look, and it's a really frustrating place to be. So I want to talk about two of the biggest training mistakes I see. Number one is the cardio camp. Like I said, so many people think they want to lose weight and they'll do a ton of cardio, but the problem with this is two things. Number one is as you expend a ton of energy, your body wants to increase your energy input, so it increases your hunger and cravings. And if you want to successfully lose fat, you have to be able to stick to your calorie deficit number. So there's a massive point of diminishing returns. And actually, cardio not only isn't necessary for fat loss, it can make it so much harder if it's not used in the right way. And that's the trap so many people fall into, is what I call the shame spiral. They will overdo their cardio, burn a ton of energy, then spend the rest of the time battling the hunger and cravings, eventually give in, overeat, feel guilty, and then do more cardio, more exercise to make up for it, battle the hunger and cravings, and then get stuck in this loop. And it's a really unpleasant place to be, and I see it all the time. Number two is this whole process, like I said, isn't about weight loss. It's about improving your body composition, reducing your fat, and building muscle. And cardio, as your primary form of exercise, will break down your muscle tissue. So it'll be a massive point of diminishing returns. So if you're doing this to become lean, athletic, get more toned, cardio is one of the worst things you can do because it breaks down your muscle tissue, it spikes your hunger and cravings, and most people will end up jumping on the scale, scratching their heads and being like, I'm doing so much exercise. Why do I still have this stubborn belly fat? And to make things even more confusing, there's a massive surge in endurance events like marathon training, Ironman, kind of Tough Mudders or Hard Rock events. And the problem with this is most of the fitfluencers that have transitioned to that style of training that are in great shape, they didn't get in great shape. They didn't build that fantastic lean athletic physique doing that style of training. They did years of weight training to build that muscle, and then they transitioned into that style of training. Most people don't realize this. And look, if you're doing this because you love cardio, maybe you're doing it for a good cause, like, you know, raising some money for charity, then that's great. But if you're trying to use it as your primary source of fat loss, it's the best way to set yourself up for failure, and there's a much better way of doing things. Number two is the junk volume camp. I definitely fell into this category myself. These are the people going to the gym 4, 5, 6 times a week, jumping on whatever machine is free, doing random sets, random amount of reps, maybe downloading a workout app or following programs that weren't built for them. And the problem with this is you can get away with it when you're in your 20s and you're hyper responsive, but in your 30s or older, we have a thing called a recovery drop-off. So finding that balance between your training and recovery becomes even more important, because when you're in the gym, you're causing micro tears, but the only time your body repairs that damaged muscle tissue is when you're resting and recovering. So if there's an imbalance between your training and recovery, and you're not having enough recovery, all that happens, instead of building muscle and building that lean athletic physique, your central nervous system fatigue builds up, your muscle damage, your metabolic waste, and then everything else starts to suffer, your performance, your energy, your strength, your size. And I definitely fell into this category. I was going to the gym 5, 6 times a week, looking at people that were in way better shape than me, thinking, what the hell am I doing wrong? I'm in the gym way more than they are. And the truth is, I wasn't giving my body enough time to repair this damaged muscle tissue. So I was just building up this fatigue, this muscle damage, this metabolic waste. I was tired, I was sore, I was lethargic, and my body composition wasn't changing, and I was so confused, and this was the reason why. So if you're a man over 30, finding that sweet spot between your training and recovery is going to be one of the most important things. And everyone that comes onto a coaching program gets a program that is specifically designed for them. It usually involves 2 to 3 focused, low volume, high stimulus workout sessions per week. The amount of volume that you actually need to build a fantastic physique is way less than anyone realizes. And this minimalist training protocol allows you to build a lean athletic physique, strip that fat off your midsection, and feel confident in your body without living in the gym. Most people are training about 2 hours a week in our coaching program. My client Charlie is a perfect example. He was overtraining, he was undereating, he was doing a lot of cardio at the time. He was doing exercise classes like Barry's boot camp in London, where you kind of run on a treadmill, you do light weights for loads of reps, and he was falling into that junk volume category. And as you can see, his body didn't represent the amount of hard work he was putting in. He was getting really frustrated, he was struggling with his hunger and cravings, he was tired, he was lethargic, and yeah, as you can see from this photo, he looks pretty miserable. So we installed our minimalist training protocol, we cut all the cardio out together, we focused on 2 to 3 low volume, high stimulus workouts a week, and he was able to completely transform his body composition. As you can see, his fat came down, his muscle came up, and he looks like a completely different person, and he was able to build a fantastic physique. I would say this is a 1% physique. This is the physique most people desire to get in: lean, athletic, toned. So instead of doing any cardio, we installed our neat fat loss formula where we focused on burning calories outside of the gym, but it didn't interfere with his recovery, it didn't interfere with his training. And remember, the biggest mistake most people make is thinking if they're not seeing results, they're not doing enough. Pile on the cardio, more weight sessions, and then it becomes unsustainable, unenjoyable, and they end up falling off plan. And that brings us on really nicely to our action step today, guys, and that is the step challenge. I want you to focus on increasing your NEAT. That's your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. That's all the things you do outside of the gym. So getting your steps in is a fat loss cheat code because you're burning calories, but it doesn't interfere with your recovery. It doesn't spike your hunger and cravings. It's one of the easiest ways to accelerate that fat loss without having any negative side effects that cardio gives you. So today, I want you to pick your step target. Make sure it is challenging, guys. Once you've done that, I want you at the end of the day to take a screenshot of your steps and post it in the action step comment section. If you complete all 5 action steps, you will get access to our fat loss blueprints. And in the 21-day rapid fat loss blueprint, we actually have the exact training program that Charlie used to get in unbelievable shape. As you can see here, we have a 21-day minimalist workout program. So yeah, get completing the action steps.